Street Fighter Alpha 3. The PlayStation version of the final game in the Street Fighter Alpha series replicated the excellent arcade original faithfully, though with some concessions to the console's limited memory. If it had simply done that, that would be one thing. But this version did so much more, adding new characters to complete the inclusion of the Super Street Fighter II cast and a World Tour mode that allowed players to customize their characters via fighting challenges. It felt absolutely stuffed with content back in 1999 and remains satisfying for both lone players and those of a more competitive nature. Tenchu Stealth Assassins. Is it fair to say that Tenchu was one of the first authentic ninja games ever? We think so. While the shadowy assassins had never been short of video game representation, they had typically appeared in action games. By requiring the player to exercise caution and stealthily assassinate targets, Tenchu really re-examined what ninja games should be and played a part in the growing stealth action genre. Driver. Driver Reflections might have accidentally created one of the hardest tutorial stages ever, but getting past it was well worth it. Inspired by the great car chase movies of the 70s, Driver gives you plenty of different driving missions to take on as an undercover cop, from getaways to tailing other cars. What makes Driver unique on the PlayStation is that its 4 city environments of Miami, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New York are proper open worlds with plenty of freedom to choose your own route, which is crucial to making your evasion of the cops feel organic and satisfying. Spyro the Dragon. It seems like a silly question looking back, but there was once a real debate over whether or not the PlayStation could actually do a 3D platform game. A proper one, with big open stages, not the corridors and caverns of Crash, Bandicoot, and Croc. Spyro the Dragon was the emphatic answer to that question. Not only could the PlayStation do a 3D platform game, but it could do one very well indeed. It's not the hardest PlayStation game you'll play, but the locations are wonderful to explore, and controlling Spyro feels great, so you'll enjoy breezing through to the end. Tomb Raider. While there are 5 PlayStation games to choose from, it's Lara Croft's first adventure that really does the trick for us. There was simply nothing quite like Tomb Raider when it first launched in 1996. That combination of exploration, puzzle solving, and gunplay in a 3D environment was wholly unique. It's also quite a different experience from its successors. Though it features memorable set pieces like the famous dinosaur encounter, the original Tomb Raider is more reliant on mental challenges than action and sticks closely to the theme of tomb raiding rather than venturing out into the open air. Silent Hill, other survival horror games, might have been bloody and even tense, but Silent Hill was one of the very first to be genuinely unsettling. It's also still one of the best Silent Hill games in the now sprawling franchise. A lot of that is down to the psychological horror approach adopted by Konami's developers, but equally, they did a lot to make the small things matter. Sure, Silent Hill might be using fog to cover up a limited draw distance like so many other games of the era, but few of them incorporated it as an atmospheric touch in quite the same way. Gran Turismo 2. Back in the late 90s, it was hard to imagine how Polyphony Digital could have improved upon the original Gran Turismo. The game was by far the biggest and most realistic racing game available on not only the PlayStation, but any console, and players went wild for it. The simple solution was to have more of everything. While the racing felt pretty similar, and the astounding graphics remained, Gran Turismo 2 features more cars and more tracks to race on, including rally tracks, which introduce off-road competition to the series. The Tekken series was the premier 3D fighting franchise on Sony's console from the moment it arrived, and the third installment was easily the pinnacle of Namco's achievements with the series in that era. The core fighting action was refined, with animations that more naturally flowed into one another, and the visuals were better thanks to the high-resolution mode and more solid character models. That wasn't all, though, as Tekken 3 was packed with things to do. There were plenty of unlockables, from bizarre characters like Gon to odd modes like Tekken Ball, plus the scrolling beat-em-up Tekken Force game. Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 is to Resident Evil what Aliens was to Alien, aka one of the best Resident Evil games in the entire series. Don't believe us? Think about the tension of that first game and how it built up to that first zombie encounter. Resident Evil 2 has more than that on the very first screen, marking it out as the bigger budget, more action-packed sequel. But as you take Leon and Claire through Raccoon City, there are still plenty of scary moments. The gun shop nightmare and that first fleeting sight of the liquor stand out. Plus, the innovative game design meant that your first play might even affect a subsequent run. Final Fantasy VII. It's so easy to talk about Final Fantasy VII's production values, and they do deserve recognition. It had beautiful pre-rendered backgrounds, stunning real-time spell animations, and a soundtrack that is up there with the best ever. But the tale of Cloud, Sephiroth, and the fate of the planet is an epic one, and it's often overlooked for featuring some real warmth. For every dramatic moment, you'll see something like the party complaining about endless staircases, a scene with the Turks, or even a sighting of a mad scientist relaxing on the beach, making it easy to become invested in their plight. Seriously, there's a reason this game has had countless remakes. It's still one of the best RPGs you can find. Crash Bandicoot Warped. As the unofficial mascot of the PlayStation, you just knew the bonkers Bandicoot would show up here. The first two games became famous for their high-quality platforming across 3D and to-the-screen sections, as well as more traditional 2.5D areas. Rather than trying to reinvent the wheel, this third game just adds heaps of extra stuff to do. The game offers motorbike rides, jet ski sections, underwater adventures, and more, all with the same excellent presentation you'd expect. That's all great for newcomers, and the challenge is still there for fanatics, with some truly testing time trials to tackle for 100% completion. Metal Gear Solid. What can you say about Konami's classic? Few PlayStation games have such impressive 3D environments, nor such cinematic ambition. Many games owe a debt to Metal Gear Solid's simple but effective take on stealth. But what really sticks out to us all these years later is just how inventive the game was. Whether it was hiding crucial information on the game's physical packaging or giving you some catch-up to let you fake an injury, not to mention that boss fight with Psycho Mantis. Metal Gear Solid had plenty of out-of-the-box ideas and rewarded players for having them too. If you like this video, please subscribe and leave a comment. And like always, see you in the next video.